You already know that the holidays happen the same time each year, bringing with it unhealthy habits. Well, our next guest can help with combating that. She is Amber Approved, Amber Romaniuk, who is the owner of Amber Approved, at least that brand. This is you.
Yes.
You got it going, girl.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, well, you do. And it's always great to bring you in here because you always, you give us a different perspective on how we eat, how we take care of our bodies from the inside out.
And that's really my goal, is to give people some more ideas and options. And it's not just about fully depriving yourself, but it's not about just fully going off the other way and having
it's okay to make mistakes, right?
Exactly. It's about forgiving and not feeling guilty and just enjoying some of the
'Cause
indulgence.
we sure feel guilty. January hits and we go, what did we do for the last 2 months? Eating and drinking and not exercising.
Not a lot of moving around.
No.
Exactly. And more eating and yes,
maybe
exactly.
a little bit of dancing, but yeah, the only movement is maybe from your table to your mouth, from your table to your mouth.
That's a good arm workout.
If you have a few weights attached to your arms, maybe.
We hibernate a little bit too, don't we?
Yeah, we get more tired, and that's largely because we're eating larger amounts, and so we're expending more energy to break down all of that food. So often people will say, oh, I'm tired after eating that big dinner, and that's probably why, because we're eating 2-3 times more than we normally do. And then that sets us up for more overeating and more overeating.
So what can we do now that we've overate?
Okay,
and
so
overdrank.
Overeating, overdrinking. Okay, the first thing that you want to do is make sure you get a good sleep that night, because again, sleep, if we don't get enough, then we get a hunger signal. But we're actually not hungry, we actually need sleep. But we're just kind of born to think, okay, I'm feeling hungry, so I'm going to eat. The next thing is staying well hydrated. So lots of drinking, lots of eating, lots of sweets, so especially water, number one. And if you're not a big fan of just drinking water, there's these really cool electrolytes, and they're just sweetened with stevia, and they have antioxidants in them, so you can add those to your water, and it'll help to replenish your electrolytes, because when we drink a lot, especially alcohol, we're excreting a lot of it, and so we're getting rid of all of our electrolytes, which provide us with energy, and sometimes we get kind of dizzy.
I've also heard pickle juice is really good for electrolytes. Is that an old wives' tale?
It might be. I'm going to have to look into that and get back to you, but I have not heard of that one yet. So the electrolytes are one option. Another option that's great is coconut water. So this is great because it's got a lot of natural electrolytes, and it's actually got a ton of potassium in it as well. So way more than a banana. So it's great to add lemon to or just drink on its own, and it'll replenish those electrolytes, especially, like I said, after a lot of drinking and a lot of eating. Some of the other things we're going to want to do is get rid of those leftovers, or get rid of all that extra baking, because otherwise we're about 90% more likely to go back and eat it again tomorrow if it's in the fridge, because we get cravings. Again, our appetite increases when we're eating those bigger meals, especially lots of sugars from all the desserts.
Because you're going to eat more calories the next day, right?
Yeah,
that's something you told me a while ago.
Exactly. So when we overeat, our body thinks we're going to go into a famine because it thinks we're in the caveman days. So then it prepares for us to eat even more in our next meal. So our appetite can increase anywhere from 40 to 70% for that next day, right? And so the other thing too is making sure that when we're going to all of these, dinners and parties, that we're not going fasting or hungry. I know people are like, I'm going to not eat all day. I'm going to save myself for that delicious meal. That's where we're actually setting ourselves up to eat 2 to 3 times more if we don't eat, regularly all day. So making
small snacks, maybe leading up to the evening.
Small snacks, even just eat a small snack before you go, so that when you get there, you're not famished, and then you're probably going to make a more poor choice when you get to that party or that dinner. You're going to start picking maybe on some of the desserts or some of the things that aren't necessarily going to help to keep you satisfied until dinner comes along.
I've also found too that whenever I go to a party, or even if we're having a little gathering or get together, we always lay out some pre-foods before the meal.
Yeah.
And I find myself, you just can't help but just grab it, and then all of a sudden the big meal comes, and you can't help but wanting to finish that as well too.
And then dessert comes.
And then dessert comes, and then you waddle out the door.
Exactly, or you can't even do that, and you're laying on the couch, just can't move.
So should we stay away from those little pre-snacks?
Appetizers?
Yeah.
I always say kind of scope out what is at the party or the dinner. Look for the vegetables. Maybe there's hummus or guacamoles or salsas. If you're bringing something, bring something healthy like a vegetable dish or a nuts or a fruit tray or something that even if you pick at a little bit of it, it's going to be fine, versus all those heavy cheese balls and cheeses and crackers.
But they're so good, Amber.
I know they're
Amber.
so good. Well, okay, and this is my other rule of thumb. Let's say you have a little plate. fill 50 to 75% of it with the veggies and the more healthy light foods, and then have that 20-25% left for all your favorites, because when you fill that plate with all the good quality food and with a little bit of the not so good quality, at least you're still getting that little bit and you're satisfied, but you're filling up on all of the good stuff.
I love it. Stick around for a few more minutes if you would, please.
Yes.
Because you have a book too, a brand new book hot off the press called Amber Approved.
Yes.
Cannot wait to talk more about that. More healthy habit ideas with Amber. First, here's what's happening in and around Calgary. This is Trending on Shaw.